Hello, guys. Today we're going to talk about the effect of stereotypes. Firstly, what is stereotype? Stereotype is a belief. It is also a set idea that people have about what something or someone is like and what a particular type of person is like. Usually, people are not willing to change this kind of idea and belief, and they are usually wrong. Stereotypes are often confused with prejudices because, like prejudices, a stereotype is based on a prior assumption. Stereotypes are often created about people of specific cultures or races. Here are some examples of stereotypes. The first one is racial stereotypes. One of the most common stereotypes examples is stereotypes surrounding race. For example, saying that all Africans are good at sports is a stereotype because it's grouping the race together to indicate that everyone of that race is good at sports. This stereotype links to racism, which is a really serious social problem in the society. All the races face this problem, and also a lot of people have unfair treatment due to this issue. The second one is gender stereotypes. There are also some common stereotypes of men and women, such as men are strong and do all the work, men are backbone, women are not as smart as men. Women can not do as good of a job as men. Girls are not good at sports. Guys are messy and unclean. Men who spend too much time on the computer or read are geeks. It also leads to another topic, which is sexism. This stereotype is really harmful to family relationships. There shouldn't be any affirmation of both two genders. Stereotypes shouldn't be applied on genders. And then it is cultural stereotypes. Stereotypes also exist about cultures around the world, such as Mexican stereotypes suggest that all Mexicans are lazy and came into America illegally, and all Arabs and Muslims are terrorists. All people who live in England have bad teeth. Italian or French people are the best lovers. And all Asians are good at math. And all Asians like to eat rice and drive slow. So, cultural stereotypes are kind of similar to racial stereotypes. And next one is stereotypes towards groups of individuals, which means different occupations. A different type of stereotype also involves grouping of individuals and also different occupations. For example, all politicians are philanderers and think only of personal gain and benefits. And all librarians are women who are old, wear glasses. All teenagers like to rebel. All the girls are only concerned about physical appearance. All children don't eat healthy food. The elderly have health issues and behave like children. And the last one is sexual stereotypes. It is about people who have different sexual orientations. Sexual stereotypes, on the other hand, suggest that any feminine man is gay and any masculine woman is a lesbian. Those who believe gay stereotypes may also believe that homosexuality is immoral and wrong. So, how do people form stereotypes? We learn stereotypes from parents, who are our first and most influential teachers, and significant others like peers and the media, like televisions, the internet. Obviously, these sources are not perfectly accurate and correct, which later on becomes stereotypes. When there are no answers to an unsolved question, people tend to use stereotypes to find a solution. For example, when a student gets lower scoring a math test than an Asian student does, he will say that, oh, the student is better because he's an Asian. The student here cannot figure out the reason why the Asian student does better in the test. He therefore uses stereotypes to solve this question and let himself feel better. People like to, want to, need to categorize a word, both the social and physical word, into preferable, neat little groups. Obviously, we use stereotypes for some reasons. Once we have stereotypes, we no longer need to consider information about each individual member of the group. We can automatically take out all the information we have about that group and apply it on the case we meet. It saves time, and that is why people like to do this. Secondly, it satisfies the need to understand and predict the social world. We feel safe when we know that what is going to happen. Therefore, using of stereotypes allows people to partially obtain information before knowing and understanding something or someone well. Once we feel secured by using stereotypes, we keep using it to predict the world, although it might be inaccurate and wrong. Thirdly, sometimes when we think we do better than a group of people, we use stereotypes to magnify the shortage of the group. It saves the comparison and brings us a better feeling. So, what aspects of individuals do people use stereotypes to judge? Here are some examples: appearance, languages, occupations, cultures, way of doing things, eating habits, wealth, education, and races. And also, we have a real life situation that is linked to our topic. A doctor charged in death of physician's wife pleads guilty to second-degree murder. Here are two quotes that is about the real life situation. He lied to just about everyone he came into contact with as to his missing wife's whereabouts. Justice will never be us. However, the only justice we will have is if she can come back, and she will never come back. Doctor is a job that saves people's life. However, in this case, he becomes a murderer. When people first see the news, they will be shocked because of stereotypes in their mind. Therefore, our assumptions towards certain jobs are not accurate. It matches with the different groups of individual stereotypes that I have talked about.
How do people's occupation influence impression for the others. Different occupations will cause a lot of different impressions from people. For example, in the PowerPoint, the two jobs on the left are a doctor and a nurse. Normally, people will consider them as more educated, more polite, and more wealthy people. On the other hand, the two people on the right-hand side are the opposite. The workers are usually considered as less educated, ruder, and less wealthy people. The reason for this situation is that different occupations are separated by different social classes. Some jobs are considered as good jobs, and the others are considered as bad jobs. People separate the occupations by the following factors. First, the quality requirement of the job. Second, the environment of the job. Third, the salary of the job. Is there a stereotype in different occupations? According to the definition of the stereotype, which is mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, a stereotype is a set of ideas that people have about what something or someone is like, or about a particular type of person is like. When people are separating different occupations, we are making an idea on specific jobs and assume the people who do the job are the same. In other words, we are making stereotypes. Therefore, the stereotype in different occupations will have a lot of impact on our impression for the people. Why stereotype is inaccurate in most of the time? According to over 50 studies, stereotypes are mostly inaccurate. The study that I used is called Studying Stereotype Accuracy from an Interrogative Social Personality Perspective. This study is written for a better understanding the accuracy and the inaccuracy of stereotypes. The study states that stereotypes are mostly inaccurate because of the following. First, the stereotypes are only inaccurate group beliefs, and so therefore accurate beliefs are not stereotypes. If our beliefs for a specific group of people is true, then it's called facts. Otherwise, it will be stereotypes. Second, each individual is different, no matter how small the group is. Furthermore, in the same group of people, there are branches which may cause the people in the same group have really big differences. Therefore, you cannot conclude them as the same group of people. Third, it is impossible for us to have a perfect information to create a perfectly correct stereotype. In other words, stereotype is a belief that there is no proof for the information in it. The perfect word means here is to know the information correctly. Why we shouldn't use stereotype to judge other people? First, stereotype can sometimes be very, very harmful for someone else. For example, when you say, Asians are always good at math, some people will get hurt in their hearts, no matter the person is Asian or not. Because when you're an Asian and you're not good at math, you will get hurt. And when you're not Asian and you're not good at math, you will still get hurt. Second, stereotype is sometimes a way to avoid the problem. For example, when you say, again, Asians are always good at math, you say that because you might want to avoid the fact that you're good at math, or even worse, you said that because you want to have an excuse for being bad at math. Third, stereotype can be an obstacle for us to really know someone. In other words, it creates the isolation in our society from people to people. For example, when you think people with blonde hair is stupid, you would not want to be friends with the people with blonde hair. It's pretty sad when you say that. Last but not least, stereotypes can be given false information about an image it creates of the world. Because of the fact that stereotypes are usually wrong, the information we get from the stereotypes are mostly wrong as well. For example, when you think woman on the smartest man, you will have a very big misunderstanding of the world. According to what we said, we found another real-life situation from the internet. The second real-life situation is a prank video on YouTube. However, I prefer to call it a social experiment. In the video, the YouTuber acts or dress as a homeless person who requires help. He calls for help for a lot of time. However, people just ignore him like he does not even exist. The purpose of the video is to see whether the people on the street are willing to borrow their cell phone to the YouTuber or not. After a long time of waiting, the YouTuber finally gets a cell phone and leaves the street with his steward, Ronaldo. How is the second real-life situation related to the stereotype? First, when the YouTuber asks people for a cell phone call, stereotypes tells people that the YouTuber is just an untrustworthy homeless person. They are afraid to give him the phone because it might be taken away from the YouTuber. Second, the people on the street are judging from the clothing and appearance of the YouTuber. They are thinking that he is a really untrustworthy homeless person. How is the second real-life situation related to the first real-life situation? The second real-life situation is more like an opposite case for the first real-life situation. In the first real-life situation, people use stereotype to see the doctor. As a result, people are surprised by the news. The news says a doctor who should be saving lives from people becomes a murderer who kills his own wife. In short, people are shocked by the differences between the stereotypes they have in their mind and the fact. In the second real-life situation, people use stereotype to see the YouTuber. When the YouTuber asks people for a cell phone call, people use stereotype to see the YouTuber as an untrusting homeless person. That will be end of our TOK presentation. Here is the bibliography, and thank you for paying attention to listen to us.